Hey there guys, thanks for joining us for the BGE Summary February 2018. I'm Jason Froud and I'll be your host. Alright, so let's get this one quickly out there. Before I get on to all the videos and reviews and things that the contributors have done, just to mention it's now well into the year, so convention season is just about to kick off. We've got Gamma, Origins, Gen Con, the UKGE, Essen, obviously Aircon has just finished now as well. So there's lots and lots of games coming out in the future that we're going to be able to talk about and play and review and preview. So there's a lot going on, but let's get to the ones where we have done. Alright, so before we get to the games, a couple of things I want to mention. As usual, if you want to come speak to us and talk to the community, you can join the Facebook group, the BGE Summary, the BGE Collective Facebook group. I'll put a link in the description below. We have a new contributor for this video, which is Behind the Box. They'll be adding their segment to what games they reviewed. And also, in this video, one of the reviewers will be giving away a game. So every month when we do the summary video, to anyone who's watched the video and commented below, the comment is the game we're giving away. So if we're giving away, say for example, Carnage, then you write down in the comments below Carnage. But obviously you have to see which contributor is doing it and what they're giving away. Alright, so those are some of the notifications. Let's get to reviews. So first up, we can have a listen to what Nick's done.
Hello, welcome to the Board Deck and Dice update for Board Game Exposure. These are the games that went through my internal organs this month. Come on, concentrate. In no particular order, we had Into the Black, which is currently on Kickstarter, or should still be on Kickstarter. This is a dungeon crawl, sort of, with a difference, where you're space pirates looting a ship that you're just boarding. Some really interesting mechanics in there. There's co-op with a potential traitor mechanism, and counters to different player counts, and had a lot of potential in my view. I had a look at two games from Bez, Wibble++ and Kitty Cataclysm. Both small card games with Bez's unique kind of style, and Wibble is kind of a word letter game. It's more of a game system that you can make a few games from. Whereas Kitty Cataclysm is a take that game that has more to it than initially it appears, and was quite enjoyable. I had a look at Entropy, which I really liked. Entropy is a simultaneous selection of actions, but your action, if you play the same action as someone else, you cancels them out, and you're all trying to restore your reality, which is a nice little, what's it called, panorama that you lay out in front of you. I had a look at Outpost Siberia, which I hated. Not going to say any more about that one. I had a look at Dead and Breakfast, which is a 5x5 grid tile laying game from Braincrack Games. Really nice game, this one. More to it than King Domino, so a little bit more to explain, but actually you've got a little bit more to think about because of that as well. Find it really enjoyable. I talked about Aircon. Quite a few of the Board Game Exposure team are going to be at Aircon, so come and say hello to us. That's a analog gaming conference in Harrogate that focuses a lot on playing games. I had a look at Animal Ailments, which is a version of charades, but actually makes very good playing for families, and comes up with these funny acting situations when you're pairing an animal with some sort of ailment. Argonauts is a co-op game where you follow the Argo and Jason as they travel around to get the Golden Fleece. Seems like it would be really limited, but actually plays really well. Hack Trick is a clever little two-player game of essentially noughts and crosses made fun. Quirk Legends, which just funded, which we're also happy about, is a kind of mashup of Go Fish, charades, Happy Families, that works with families. Lastly, I took a quick look at some folded space inserts. I showed off the construction or how it comes from the Marco Polo one. I've been really happy with these, really like what they're doing on folded space. These affordable, lighter game inserts. So that's what I've been doing. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Nick. Right, let's go on to Mark now from Moytex Reviews. Mark's a prolific reviewer who does a lot of written reviews, and he also does some 3D series. He has an Etsy shop, and you can follow the link to his Facebook page, where you can follow the link then to his Etsy shop, where you can see he does some fantastic 3D printed stuff for some of the board games we do in that, so go check that out. Alright, so what has Mark done? He's had a look at Ironclad, and I'll put the pictures up here, unless I have the game here with me. He's also had a look at Merlin from Queen Games, and I'm quite looking forward to playing that. That's the new Stefan Feld game. He's also had a look at Moonquake Escape. Now, this has come over to me from Breaking Games. I'll show you the box. Interesting game, this. It's actually it's got some interesting mechanics, but the game takes maybe just a bit too long. Obviously, you can check out Mark's review, and there's one from me coming soon as well. He's also had a look at Food Truck Champion from not Breaking Games, Daily Magic Games. This is one of their newer ones where you run a little food truck and you hire staff and all sorts of cool stuff. Immerse Studios have done a new game, or a new standalone expansion for Quirk Legends. Mark's had a look at that. The Kickstarter just successfully funded recently, and if you haven't checked it out, you can go check out any of the Quirk Legends reviews, or the basic Quirk game as well. Very simple, very fun game. Kind of a mixture of charades and go fish, something like that. Alright, he's also had a look at the expansions for Cities of Splendor. So if you like Splendor, he had a look at what the expansions bring. They all look really good. He's done a preview for Dead and Breakfast. This is a game on Kickstarter at the moment. He's also had a look at a game called Darkness, and another one called Hack Trick. I don't know anything about that. I might have to go check out the review myself. Then he's also had a look at a game, which this is not like a prototype or anything. This is an actual release game, Dice Throne. But they've just had the second edition Kickstarter finished last week, and it had 6 new characters, or more than 6 new characters. But it's actually a pretty good game. Head-to-head sort of dice game where you kind of rolling Yahtzee, so you're trying to get some similar symbols to fight off your opponent. Actually really clever, really isometric as well. Different characters with different abilities. Alright, so that's the games he's done this month. As you can see, I think it was 11 games. Pretty decent contribution. Much better than what I've contributed. But before we get to me, let's have a look what Lindsay's done.
Hi everyone, it's Lindsay here, or Shiny Have Meeples as you might know me. And I have been a little bit quiet recently, so it's only be a short segment from me because I'm officially offering my services and I've been working, which is great. You can follow my website, which is shinyhavemeeplesco.com, and find out what I'm doing and the kind of service I'm offering. So yeah, that's been keeping busy, but it's a good thing. But I've had time for some games. I did a short preview, mini review on Cogs and Commissars. So this was on Kickstarter. I did a video on that if you want to check that out. That was a very good take that game. I like the theme, Russian Revolution, but with robots instead of people. So it's kind of a robotic revolution. Very take that, very high kind of conflict, but fun. You know, it's just a really fun game. It's quite a short duration. It's better in a group, but it works as a 2-player as well. It's a tongue-in-cheek sort of game. You're not going to be like taking it deadly seriously or anything. It's a very good hand management game as well, and deck management. Not so much. It's not a deck builder really. It's more card drafting and managing your deck correctly, because you can only win the game when you've accumulated enough citizens and you play your revolution card, which if you're managing your deck well, you're going to get out at the right time. So it was a thinky one as well, but nothing too heavy. So yeah, Cogs and Commissars just finished, but check out the page. Fire in the Library, this arrived on the weekend. This is from Weird Giraffe Games. It's designed by John Prather and Tony Miller. It's a push-a-luck game, and it involves rescuing...
Hello!
Got a little friend of me today. Fire in the Library is a pressure alert game where you are trying to rescue as much knowledge in the library as possible before it burns down. And it can be played solo as well. So I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I'm going to because it's kickstarting, I think the week after next. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll be passing it on. So we'll be reviewing Fire in the Library this month. And lastly, you've got Hope. I'm really looking forward to playing this. I did a video sort of showcasing what's inside the box. I thought it was a really, really nice game. So much good stuff in here. So many components, all really beautiful quality. I just love the whole package. So I did a little video on that, which is on my channel now as well. So Hope is a co-op game. It's set in the far future where the universe is threatened with absolute collapse. So we have to go and bring life to different planets on various corners of the galaxy and terraform on them to bring life to the planets to sort of save the universe. Lastly, the Bark Side. This is from Sweet Lemon Games and Career Board Games. It's going to be on Kickstarter soon. And it's a really cute little card going about dog life, so I'm looking forward to giving that a go as well. Cool, that's it from me. It was a short one today. Hopefully I'll have more reviews and bits and pieces with you soon. Thanks and bye for now.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Right, so for myself, I've been focusing a lot on a couple of other bits and pieces, but the content will come out. But we had a preview. I had a preview look at Donning the Purple, very Roman intrigue game where you're playing as Roman politicians, senators, and so on. Really clever game. It's on Kickstarter at the moment. And I've also had a look at Baron Park from Lookout Games, which now part of the Asmodee brand. So those are the only 2 games I've done. But I am giving away, or the BGE is giving away, a copy of Alien Artifacts from Portal Games. So we've had a couple of reviews of this. I know Nick's got a review up on Board Deck and Dice. I'll have one up soon. And you can comment below. And the comments will go into a pool, and then the next summary we'll announce the winner. And whoever's the lucky winner can win a copy of Alien Artifacts. Obviously it's been opened and used, but it's still in really good condition. Alright, that's all from me. Now we can have a look at the new guys behind the box. A couple, Lindsay and Chris, they do a lot of 2-player stuff, so you can have a look at what they've had a look at.
Hi, we're Chris and Lindsay from Behind the Box, and Jason has very kindly asked us to come on the channel and talk to you about the games that we've played this month of February for Board Game Exposure. Now, I'll be honest, we didn't actually play or put out many videos for Board Game Exposure in February, but we received a lot of them. So we'll go through those games. We have now played them, but it's technically March. So these videos, as of today, will be coming out over the next couple of weeks for us. So we'll just give you some general idea and thoughts about those games.
So the first game that we wanted to talk about was Lisboa. Now, this is something that I've actually really been looking forward to. I've heard about Lisboa and heard some really good things, so I was excited about it.
And we really enjoyed Vinhos, the same designer.
Yeah. And we got to the table and it was so beautiful. What a marvelous game. Unfortunately, it didn't end up being our type of game.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil the overall review that we did, but ultimately it was an incredible game, fantastically designed, but just too much for us. It was past that level of enjoyment to difficulty and complexity. So it's us. We were the problem, not the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even so, I'm really glad that we had the opportunity to play it. It's something that I've been wanting to try. So.
Me too. Yeah. I really enjoyed giving it a shot. The next game that we played was Baseball Highlights 2045. Now this was a really interesting one because I had a lot of fun playing this game until Lindsay hated it so much we stopped playing before the end.
Yeah.
So this was really good. And our review for this will be out very shortly. But yeah, this was a really good game. It's like a deck building game with a bit of hand management and kind of mind game, outplaying your opponent.
Yeah.
You just didn't get the point, did you? You were like, I don't understand why this is fun. That was ultimately what it came down to. And yeah, just not really for you.
No, it didn't work out for me, unfortunately. Yeah. As much as I do love the good old American pastime of baseball. The next game that we received was Whipple. Now, this one was interesting because it's not too often that you find a game that almost mimics that 52 cards,
Yeah.
typical deck of cards.
It's more of a game enabler.
Yeah. I can see so much happening with this game, and it's kind of cool that we got to try it out.
It is really cool. It's a game by Bez, and it's just a neat thing. It's like I said, it is a deck of cards with different symbols and numbers and letters on them, and there's a series of games that Bez has made, and we played through as many as we could with just 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some really cool ideas there, and it's something that an aspiring game designer could use to try and make their own fun little project and fun little game. And yeah, it was neat. It was short and sweet. I got no complaints about it. Just a nice, fun little thing to try and get to the table. Next game we played was The Primary. So similar to Baseball Highlights, I enjoyed it. You didn't like it hardly at all.
Gosh, I sound like such a miserable stinker, don't I?
No, I think for me, The Primary, I enjoyed it. It was okay. I played it. We've only played it once or twice, and it was fine. I wouldn't play it again. I did have some pretty big issues with the gameplay. You had bigger issues with the gameplay. It's like a political game. It's very abstract. It's just about putting cubes and sort of like an area control game. It wasn't really our cup of tea, but I had fun playing it and giving it a shot. And it just wasn't. Again, it wasn't our type of game.
It just didn't ring our bell, so to say.
Common saying.
Next we had Word Slam. Now this was a fun one. We brought it to like a group game night that we went to, and it was fun to get to the table, something new, a new word game. It didn't replace any games that we currently have. It's
kind of, as I mentioned with the Primary, you hated it, I liked it. This was kind of a little bit of the opposite of Word Slam. You, I think, enjoyed it more than I did.
Yeah.
For me, I couldn't see myself replacing any of our other party games. Yeah. We play a lot of party games. We always have big groups around whenever we do game nights. Mm-hmm. This just didn't achieve what I wanted it to achieve. I felt like it was so close. The idea is great, but it separated the room into 2 halves. And then other than the fact that you have to say stuff loud enough for the other people to hear you, there's no interaction. And it was just disappointing to have this idea that was really cool sounding, and then it just, for me, it didn't hit the mark. It was a shame. I was let down by the game because I had high hopes for it. Because I'd heard such great things. It was supposed to be like one of the best party games of last year.
Yeah, I mean, you can see good things in it. You certainly can. There's interesting mechanics, and our review goes into a lot more detail. But it's, it doesn't replace anything that we currently have. We've got favorite party games, and it didn't really knock those out of the park.
The next game, probably off of this list, is my favorite that we played. Was Chronicles of Crime.
So good.
This is our type of game. Like, we love Sherlock Holmes. We love those mystery games. We love the escape games. It's not really an escape room, but it's like a mystery. You got to solve a puzzle of who done it, who killed somebody, who robbed somebody. But it does it with an app in the right way. Like, it doesn't just have this companion app that you can give or take.
Yeah.
You need it, and it's evolving the gameplay because of it. So as you play the game, you'll be scanning people and locations and evidence to try and learn out who actually committed the crime. This allows the app to sort of keep up with where you've been, who you've spoken to, what you've found out. So when you go back and question somebody a second time because you found new evidence, they give you different answers, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, you take Sherlock, a game that we love. It's probably our favorite game to play with just the 2 of us. If you find out new information, you can't go back and talk to somebody again because they'll say the same thing because it's printed on paper. Mm-hmm. I love that this has that evolving story, and it was so impressive.
It is really cool.
Really, really impressive.
I loved Chronicles of Crime. Yeah. That was such a terrific experience. I'm so glad we received that and had a chance to give it a go.
Yeah, me too.
That was really good. We also received Warp Gate. That's something that we have not played yet.
Yeah, we kind of dropped the ball a little bit. Sorry, Nick. Basically, a lot of stuff came up for us, and we just missed the window of getting a video out for it, and it kind of got to the point where there's no point, and so we just sitting on a chair over there, unplayed, unloved. I do feel bad about
Sorry,
that.
Warp Kate.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate couple of weeks that came up for us. Similarly was Ironclad. We haven't played it yet.
No.
Hopefully we'll be able to play it this week before Aircon. But if not, I'm probably just going to bring it with me and give it to, I think Nick's getting it next from us. So
Yeah.
we'll see if we can get the time to do that, but we can't make any promises, unfortunately. It
yeah.
sounds interesting. It's like cooperative storytelling, which we like. They're the things that we really enjoy, like
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah.
But, time.
It's tricky.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's tricky to balance, the YouTube review game stuff with different personal things that
real
come
life
up.
stuff.
Yeah,
that can come
yeah.
up. Yeah. Because that was
So-
the problem. We received most of these games within a few days window,
Mhm.
and that was at the same time as stuff came up
Yeah.
that we were like, right, that's an actual focus. So, yeah. The only other game that we got was from not Board Game Exposure.
Oh, it was from Sweet Lemon
Mhm.
Publishing.
Yeah.
Barkside. So we do still need to give this a try.
Yeah, we still got to play that. That just arrived about a week ago, less
Yeah.
than a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
But we'll be sending that off soon. As soon as we get a chance to play it and review it, we'll send that off.
send off the next review.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's everything we received through February and everything that we released and will be releasing over the next couple of weeks as of today. But yeah, thank you very much, Jason, for having us on. This was fun to just sort of look back and apologise for our errors this month.
Ah,
Hopefully March will be a lot better for us. So,
yes.
Today we're recording 8 videos, so we're really trying to get ourselves ahead for a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
So the Kickstarter highlights for this month, I want to start off with Architects of the West Kingdom from Garfield Games. I mean, Shem is a great designer. He's done some fantastic games. The North Sea Trilogy is a great series of games. I mean, I've enjoyed all of them. I think the Rune Saga blends them all really nicely. So he's done some fantastic games. This looks no different. And anything he designs, I'm always going to have a look at. So that's a fantastic looking. This one's interesting. I've not heard much about this one or from other people, but it's called Monumental. It's a Kickstarter exclusive only game, and it's from Funforge. It's a civilization deck building game, which comes with miniatures, which I kind of like. But it looks really interesting. You've got obviously exploration and combat and science, technology. It's all based on deck building, so it sounds really, really cool. It's Kickstarter exclusive, so that's a bit iffy. Not unheard of. They've done one or two smaller things before, but it looks really interesting. Then you got Mystea from Tabula Games. I should have a prototype coming of this soon, so I can do a preview for this. But this looks really interesting as well. And obviously Australia from Martin Wallace. This is actually doing pretty well on Kickstarter at the moment. It looks really interesting actually. It's got a mixture of sort of a train route building game with sort of Cthulhu mythos, where you're out in the outback of Australia gathering resources, and you've got the problems of all the old ones and monsters and stuff causing trouble for you. So that's worth checking out. And then the last one for this highlight is Sorcerer City from Druid City Games. Now, Druid City have done some fantastic things. I've just received Grim Forest from my Kickstarter pledge. A fantastic production. Sorcerer City looks no different. So they're just moving on the up and up and up with great production values. And this game looks pretty interesting as well. It's got a little time aspect where you're building sort of this Carcassonne-esque tile laying game, and then you reset it every turn to gain different resources, which you then buy new tiles. It's kind of like a little bit of deck building in there as well. So that looks really interesting. I thought those games are worth checking out. If you want to see what other Kickstarter games are interesting out there, you can always go over to the Facebook page where Nick puts up a weekly post of all the Kickstarters that we think look interesting that we voted on. So you can go check out those links there as well. So as I said, lots of cool games, lots of time to not a lot of time to play them. So let's go on. Right, so that's it for this month. Nice and short and sweet. We had a lot of games from a lot of different contributors, so the games are still pouring in from all the production companies and publishers and designers, and there's going to be loads more. I mean, there's so many games released a year now. I don't think it's even physically possible to play them all. Not all of them are obviously good, and we got a lot of prototypes coming in as well from more and more games going on Kickstarter. So there's obviously some big Kickstarters going out there. So let's move along to the next video. See you guys later.